Um, when I was a kid, I was teased and bullied a lot. I was called names like Fat Stinky Trash Can and Shamu the Whale. I was never fat, but I always remember wanting a thigh gap. Yeah. Nothing too extreme. I didn't need a space for like an encyclopedia to fit, but just like a brochure or two, you know. In spite of my negative body image growing up, I managed to get a boyfriend when I was a little older. And we were together for a little while, and then he dumped me. And I couldn't help but think if I was just prettier, if I was thinner, then he would love me. So I went on my first diet. I ate so many vegetables. My skin turned orange from all the beta carotene, which was great because it meant I never had to go tanning. Shortly thereafter, my diet had kind of spiraled into an eating disorder, and I struggled with bulimia for 6 months. I was binging and purging regularly to the point that my gag reflex actually stopped responding. I knew I needed help. I didn't know what to do, so I went to the library to pick up a book on eating disorders. Maybe there was some cure, some answer in there. And what I found, instead of ways to get worse, were actually ways to get better, were actually ways to get worse. I had read about Ipecac. It's a little emetic that they used to prescribe toddlers back in the day. If they ever swallowed anything poisonous, you would take it and it would make you retch. This stuff was awful. It's illegal now, but I was abusing it for 2 months. And then I couldn't get my hands on it anymore. The pharmacy I was picking it up from stopped carrying it. So then I progressed to using spoons to stimulate my gag reflex. And for a couple months, I was doing that, binging and purging, still trying to pull myself out of all of the chaos. And one day, I was at work. I had just gotten off. I was ready to go home, but I had just binged on a large meal, and I wanted to go purge it out. So I went to the bathroom with an espresso spoon, and I stuck it as far back down my throat as I could tolerate, like I had done so many times before. But this time, the spoon slipped out of my fingers, and my esophagus clamped down, and I swallowed it. I swallowed a spoon. It was an accident, okay? I wasn't that hungry. I remember panicking, going, oh my God, I have to get it out, and I tried to throw it back up, and that didn't work. So then all I could do was rationalize. My first thought was that I would pass it. I swear, I thought it'll come out the other end somehow, some way. And then my next thought was, well, if I can't pass it, I'll just digest it. I swear, this is where my mind, I was like, the acid in your stomach is as strong as a car battery. I will digest this spoon. Even if it were possible, what I failed to realize was that it would take about 20 years. So I've got 9 years left, still in there. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. It's not. Whoa, we got all mad uncomfortable for a second. No, actually, what I did was I left the bathroom with my rationalizations in hand and the spoon still in me, and I went home. I called the Poison Control Center just for a second opinion. I really didn't want any advice about x-rays and going to the hospital, but they had to tell me, you probably need medical attention, which was terrible news for me because even though my parents knew that I was struggling with anorexia and bulimia, to tell my mother that my bulimia had gotten so bad that I swallowed a spoon was rough. The sad part is, even after the spoon was removed, I didn't stop purging. I used straws instead. I was hospitalized 3 more times over the next 3 years in 3 different states. Recovery took a long time. It's been 11 years since I swallowed the spoon, and I'm healthy. And at the risk of sounding hackneyed, I'm grateful to say that my life is filled with more promise than was possible when I was in the throes of my illness. But one of the questions I always get, about the spoon, what did it feel like? What did it feel like to swallow a spoon? Okay. Imagine you swallowed a spoon. That's what it feels like. It is not pleasant. And girls always come up to me afterwards, they ask, how many calories is in a spoon? I'm like, oh, so clever. But the guys really take the cake with their cleverness, right? You know where I'm going with this. They're like, oh yeah, you swallowed a spoon? What else do you swallow? And I'm like, you're never going to get that hard anyways. But just in case you didn't believe me, I brought the x-ray. I didn't Photoshop the spoon, that's real. I did make my body just a little skinnier though, because, you can never be too skinny. Thank you guys very much.